but the victim who suffers from that negligence wants to sue not only the wrongdoer employee, but wants to sue the employer of the employee as well. My name is Louis Liao. I'm an employment lawyer and a principal at Louis Liao Chambers. What is the meaning of vicarious liability? Meaning of vicarious liability basically means an employer, while not at fault for the wrongdoings of the employee, will be held liable under the law. The concept of vicarious liability does not depend on the employer's fault, but on his role. Liability is imposed by a policy of the law upon an employer, even though he is not personally at fault, on the basis, generally speaking, that those who set in motion and profit from activities of the employees should compensate those who are injured by such activities, even when performed negligently. Liability is extended to the employer on a practical assumption that inter alia, because he can spread the risk through pricing and insurance, is better organized and able to bear the risk than the employee, even if the latter himself remains responsible. At the same time, the employer is encouraged to control that risk. So the simple way to explain this is this: an employee does something wrong. It can be because he is negligent, he is careless, but the victim who suffers from that negligence, who suffers for the wrongdoing, wants to sue not only the wrongdoer employee, but wants to sue the employer of the employee as well. And the court will say, employer, sorry, you're not the one that did the wrong thing, you're not the one that was negligent, that was careless, but you must be responsible and you must also pay the victim. So why does the court do this? A lot of times the reality is because the wrongdoer employee has no money to pay the victim. They did something wrong, they are being sued. Yes, they are the one who did the wrong thing, but they have no money to compensate the victim. So these victims become smarter. They realize that, hey, we should also sue the employer, because the employers normally have the money, they are more established, they got more money in the bank, they can pay for the sufferings of the victims. So we know that the wrongdoer employee got no money, so we sue the employer also. And the courts actually agree that that's why this concept of vicarious liability is created. But we find that employers, although yes, you may not be the person who is doing the wrong thing, but you should be responsible and should be held liable to pay and compensate the victim.